All right, cool. So you guys can see my screen. So we're gonna go over how to make 150K in literally less than a year with no money out your pocket. So how can we make the money work for us? And my mods, as you guys pop in, you can definitely let people in for sure, for sure. Again, very, very quick impromptu. I said, let me send this out. I'm in the office a little bit late today. I had a late appointment, so let me do a quick webinar just to show you guys specifically how to make $150,000 with no money out your pocket. That's the best thing. Like no money out your pocket, no down payments, just doing something from a structure standpoint that allows you to do that. And you can literally make $150,000 passively with no money out your pocket, right? So we're gonna go over that right now. So we're not gonna go over the mantra, right? Just information about me. So I'm a veteran. I've been married for 18 years with one daughter, right? So definitely been there, done that from a business standpoint. It'll be my 20-year anniversary actually next year. So I'll be 20 years as a licensed financial advisor. Right, I was featured in Forbes magazine back in 2023 with some of the great things that we do from an investment standpoint. Then also as well, we got awarded by the foundation for, oh, it's not even in percent mode. There we go. Awarded back for the foundation of the Martin Luther King Jr. Foundation because of all the great stuff we do. We manage over $250 million in client assets. We're the fourth largest Black-owned investment firm in Florida. We launched our own ETF back in 2022. We launched our own ETF that hit the stock market, which is very, very cool. And also, we go on FloodCon, basically a stormwater company that reduced the flooding in Alabama by 1% back in 2024 because they use our underwater system or underground system to move water from one place to another. Then also, my best-selling book, My Mama I Made It Moment, is become a best-selling author for my book, The Relaxed Investor. Here it goes here. Boom, my best-selling book. And then also, of course, as well, just like we coach individuals, we mentor people. We had our Miami Mastermind for our students and mentees over the past weekend in Miami, a great 3-day event. But I have a mentor. My coach is Myron Golden. I pay him $250,000 a year. Sorry. I pay him $55,000 a year. In totality, I spent over $250,000 in mentorship for sure, but I pay Myron over $55,000 a year, and just money well spent. Money well spent. Anybody thinking about mentorship, thinking about coaching, strongly recommend it. It's the gift that keeps on giving, for sure, for sure. So today we're going to talk about the biggest financial myth, right? So the biggest financial myth that we have seen, especially in our community, is that you need money to make money. That's the big old myth. Like, in order for me to make money, don't I need to have money first to make money? That is so untrue. So untrue. You see, you start building wealth when you have more money. You see, that's what most people believe. But that's not the truth, right? You're not going to start building wealth because you have more money. If you don't have the mindset, it doesn't matter how much money you have. The truth is actually two ways for you to have passive income. The first way is to make money without working, right? Because it's passive. The money's making for you, right? You're not getting up every single day to go to work. The money is working for you. The second way is making money with no money. That's 100% passive, where you're making money with no money out your pocket. The money grows and you're not even having to put money to the table to grow. And the wealthy people, they start number 2 first. They start to make money with no money, and then they start making money without actually working. So we're going to go over those two things and how you can literally make $150,000 a year with no money out your pocket and with the money working for you, not you working for the money. How can we do that? Well, first off, we need to understand that it's 4 ways to earn actual income. An employee. So employee, he or she, they trade time for money. So they are actually on a day-to-day basis working, trading their time for actual money. We don't want to be an employee though. Now we have the self-employed. The self-employed, they own the job, so they're working, but they still have ownership from a job standpoint, meaning they're still working, right? They are working. And this is like the worst because an employee, we know we have a guaranteed check coming in, right? Unless something happens. We know people are going crazy now with these layoffs, right? A self-employment person, you could be working like crazy, but the business might not grow like you want to. So you might work harder than a person who's a W-2 employee and make less money. So a self-employed person who basically owns a job, they have it the worst. And then you have the business owners. And the business owners, they got it the right way because they're not working for the money. The systems they have in place is making money. You know, people who use our Go High Level agency, us using Go High Level, our systems are making money for us. We don't have to work for the money. The money's making money for us because we have systems in place. So what's the difference? A huge difference between a person who is self-employed and a person who's the actual business owner. You see, the self-employed, he or she is working for that money, when the actual business owner is having systems in place that actually makes money. So it's a huge, huge, huge difference. An average person. See, the average person, they're basically number one because we're all taught in school, we're all taught by individuals that we need to trade time for money. Get a job. Work hard at that job. But you'll grow your money in that pension. You'll grow your money in the 401k, and then you can retire someday. But someday never happens because inflation or the cost of living keeps on going up. But see, the wealthy, they live in 3 and 4. They're business owners where systems is making money for them, not them working for the money. And they're also investors because their assets are making money for them. You see, we want to be like the wealthy. We want to be like 3 or 4 where we have a business and the systems and how it's being automated is running itself so we can be hands off, right? Because, you know, we want to be working not in the business, we want to be working on the business. So how can we structurally make the business grow, but then not the day-to-day operations to have the business grow, right? That's number 3, being a business owner. And then, of course, we want the assets to make money. So the goal, like I said, is moving from labor to ownership to investor. And we'll go over that in detail. We have a finite amount of time. And the crazy thing about time is that we don't know when our time is going to be up. It's not like we're looking at our hourglass. And the hourglass is counting and counting and counting. You see, we don't know when it's going to stop. That's why active income actually is costing us money. You know, when you're working, let's say you make $100,000 a year as we see the screen. An average person, when they work, they're working what? 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. Well, the average person, they're getting paid for working 40 hours a week, but the average person actually gets paid they work 50 hours. So already we're caught behind because we're working, but we're not getting paid what we work. If we're getting paid for 40 hours, we're working 50, we're already losing money. So the real hourly rate is about $50 an hour. Now the cost of $1, the cost of every dollar that we make is basically 1 minute of our life that's gone. And that's over 2,000 hours. So we're trading 2,000 hours of our time for money. If you do that calculation over the course of a year, every $100,000 that you make is costing you it's costing you 83 full days of your life. So if I'm in that said company and I make $100,000, I'm losing $83 days of life. I can't talk. I've been in Miami too long. You stretch that out over $1 million. If I make that company over $1 million, you know that company has gotten over 2.5 years of my life that I'll never get back. Because it's active, right? We're trading time for money. I don't want you to be active. We want your income to be passive. So a person getting passive income, making $100,000, they might spend 2 to 5 hours a week. That's it. On the actual passive income. That's it, just 2 to 5 hours. Out that 2 to 5 hours, then basically, since they're not working for that money, they officially get $1,000 an hour of time back because they're not working. So it costs them nothing. Doesn't cost them anything from a dollar and life standpoint. And they keep an additional 2,000 hours of their life. That means 83 full days back in their pocket. So compared to a person actively working where time is leaving on a day-to-day basis, they get days back. My friends, active income is costing you in your life. Passive income is giving you life back. I want you guys to be passive in your income, not active. And with that being said, it is a way to do that. Oh, right? This is example. It's my cargo van, right? My cargo van, I got this with passive income. Now, I had this for a while. Never seen it, right? Bought it, had to do a dealership, bought it, never seen it. Never seen it before. So you see my mentees in the background. So I'm making money with this cargo van. Never even saw it until this weekend. Never saw it. But it's been passively making me over $4,000 a month. So how can I buy something, spend no money out my pocket, have the banks do it for me, and me make $4,000 a month and never, ever, ever see it? Well, this is how. Because the wealthy chase income, they do not chase active employment. So more freedom, your family, you get more time with them, less stress, you're able to retire, and wealth can outlive you. So life is good and life is better because you're stop working and your money's working for you. And how do we do that? These three things we're gonna show you in particular how to make $150,000 with no money out your pocket. Number one, cargo van. We'll go over that step by step because I got a cargo van that's making me some money. Number two, rental properties. How can we take the cargo van money and turn it into rental properties? And again, have nothing out your pocket. You're not putting nothing down, nothing at all. And number three, dividend paying stocks through your retirement account, which is going to make you money and have the IRS help pay for it all. Because assets, they do the work for you. But what if you own the asset and the asset pays you, right? So here's the myth, right? Passive income requires one thing. That is nothing out your pocket and also no money that you got to put down. And that one thing people get wrong all the time because they believe that they have to work for the money. But again, we're going to show you guys step by step how to make sure that your money grows. So if you guys are ready to show that, put a 1 in the chat. If you guys are ready to see how you can step by step make money with nothing coming out of your pocket, put a 1 in the chat and we will get started. We will get started and show you guys how to specifically do that. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. All right, I got a couple DMs, a couple 1 DMs. Okay, all right, cool, couple 1 DMs. All right, so we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. And this is how we do it. Man, oh, what's all my stuff doing up on the screen? What is that about? What is that about? So, again, I like to show my cargo van. And this is how I did it. So you know that you can turn literally money from thin air into your pocket. So I'm going to show you guys how to turn $25,000 into $100,000. You say $25,000? Well, a cargo van. A cargo van is a one-time investment of $25,000. Well, the great thing about cargo vans is that you can actually buy a cargo van with no money out your pocket. Who here has actually bought a vehicle with no money out their pocket? If anybody has bought a vehicle with no money out their pocket, they went to the car lot, they bought a vehicle, boom, they put down nothing and they got monthly payments on a month-to-month basis, put a 1 in the chat. If anybody has ever bought a vehicle with no money out their pocket, I'm going to put a 1 in there. I'm going to put a 1 in there myself. because it's been times that I have went to a car. Oh, my chat's disabled. Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad. My chat was disabled the whole time. Yeah. So if anybody has ever went through the process where they actually bought a van, a car, or any automobile with no money out their pocket, put a 1 in the chat. All right. I see. I got a DM. I got a DM as a 1. You can put it to everybody, right? But of course, yeah, we could definitely buy a car with no money out of our pocket, right? So why can't we do that with a cargo van? It's an automobile. You don't need CDLs to drive it. You don't need a special license, and you have drivers driving it for you. Well, here's the kicker. We don't want you to turn that $25,000 cargo van into money. We want you to have 2 cargo vans, because what happens is that when you do an inquiry from an automobile, it's 1 inquiry. So what if we could buy not 1 cargo van or 1 automobile? What if we could buy 2? I mean, at $50,000, heck, most cars nowadays, new cars don't cost $50,000. They cost more than that. So you 1 inquiry on your credit can now buy 2 vehicles with nothing out of your pocket. So right then and there, we now have 2 vehicles that we can use to make passive income. So it's a one-time investment of $25,000. Yeah, but we want to scale. We want to have 2 cargo vans that cost $25,000 a piece. But again, you got these as loans, so no money came out your pocket. Well, on the left-hand side, van number 1, it makes you $10,000 a year because you put it with a logistics company. That's what we help clients do. So that $10,000 a month that you make, you got to pay the driver. You're going to pay the driver about $4,000 a month. So now we didn't pocket $10,000, we pocketed $6,000. Got to pay for gas, right? And gas is high. So now we didn't make $6,000, we made $5,000. And we got to pay insurance. We can't get around insurance. And insurance is $1,000. So instead of making $5,000, we made $4,000. So that means we're netting $4,000 a month. And then that $500 car payment, we net, when it's all said and done, $3,500 a month. Well, since we bought 2 cargo vans instead of 1, with 1 inquiry, by the way, from a credit standpoint, guess what? The second cargo van is going to do the same thing. So now the second cargo van, what does it do? Gives us $10,000 a month. Then we pay the driver $4,000. We pay the gas $1,000. We have insurance at $1,000. My friends, we now have $4,000 in our pocket. We then pay the van payment, and now we pocket $3,500. How good you think life would be if I had 2 streams of income passively that paid me $4,000 a month? That's $8,000 altogether. That's $96,000 a year. And we say $4,000 a month because that's on the low end. My cargo van sometimes gave me $8,000 a month, just 1. So it's very easy for you with 2 cargo vans to make over $100,000 a year. If you guys would like to passively make $100,000 a year and do no work, put a 1 in the chat. If you would like to passively make $100,000 a year with no work, by the way, no work, you're not working for it, it's working for you, you're not doing anything, put a 1 in the chat, right? Of course, who wouldn't? But this gives you the ability to do it. And like I said, because we all bought a car with no money down, then we can buy a van with no money down. And because it's 1 inquiry, we can actually buy 2 vans, right? Because success loves speed. So instead of waiting 4 or 5 months, well, let me wait a few months to see how it goes. Nah. We know how it goes. We know we're going to make money. So don't buy 1, buy 2. All with 1 inquiry, by the way. Let's make that $100,000 a year passively. So now literally, we making $100,000 a year. We buy our cargo vans. We lease it through a freight company. The freight does the rest. And you get paid at least $4,000 a month per van. Doing nothing. Crazy, right? And by doing that, you have debunked the myth. And that myth is, oh, again, here's my van. So as I showed before, I just want to show again. The first time I've ever stepped foot in my cargo van was in Miami last weekend doing our mastermind because the dealership's in Miami. I had them take it off the road and bring it back. So I lost some money because it was off the road. I lost some money. But I wanted to kind of show everybody, this is my cargo van, but also show everybody as well. I never stepped foot in my own cargo van. And this has been making me over $4,000 a month for months. Passively. Never stepped foot into it until Sunday. Last Sunday. Sunday, like June the 7th, Sunday. Never stepped foot in my own cargo van, but it was making me over $4,000 a month. Passively. And no money out my pocket, by the way, because I did a line of credit I already had, and I used that to buy it. No money out my pocket. The month-to-month payments, my $10,000 plus pays for it. So the myth that passive income requires money out your pocket, that has been debunked. When it comes to a business, so when you buy any business, it is a myth that you need money out your pocket to buy it. I just showed you. I didn't even step foot into my cargo van until months after I was making over $4,000 a month. It's a myth that you need money to start a business. You don't. What about rental property? Okay, we'll talk about that, right? Because what I'm going to do with my cargo van is make at least $50,000. So you guys doing 2 cargo vans, one in Crowley, you're going to make an extra $100,000 a year. Would it be okay for you guys to make an extra $100,000 a year passively, right? Put a 2 in the chat. If you guys think it's okay to make just an extra $100,000, you know, you ain't getting rich. I think that's a lot of money, by the way, right? But an extra $100,000 out your pocket passively, right? Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. But it gets better because you can do what you call asset-based lending. Asset-based lending is when you buy a property with no money at your pocket. One of the things they look for is, do you have a nice stream of income? Or sometimes they don't look at it at all if it's from a hard money lender. It's kind of how you structure it. But with asset-based lending, for the ones that might give you a lower interest rate, and they want to see what you're doing passively, right? Isn't it great that we're showing them that we're making $8,000 a month not working, but we're making that because the money's working for us? You see, lenders, they love to see pension income. They love to see Social Security income. And they love to see passive income. Because when we work, our job can go away and so can that income. But if it's passive, where the money's working for us, not us working for the money, and it's always coming in, lenders love that. And so a lender's going to say, you know what? We're going to give you that loan for those Section 8 properties, right? Those $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 properties. We're going to give you a loan for it. And we're also going to give you money as well to remodel it as well. So what does that do? That allows you to buy Section 8 homes. We love Section 8 because Section 8 is guaranteed by the federal government. That allows you to then buy not 1, but 2 Section 8 homes. You can buy Section 8 homes as low as $30,000. I said 40. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why the heck would I buy a Section 8 home for $40,000? I ain't gonna get as much money as if I spend more money. That's not true. You see, Section 8, they don't care how big the house is. They don't care if it's 1,200 square foot house or a 6,000 square foot house. They care about the rooms. So if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, that's 1,500 square foot, you're gonna get paid the same amount of money as a 6,000 square foot house with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So to come to Section 8, we want to buy the ugliest house on the block. That's the least expensive, and just make it rentable. That's all we got to do. Just make it rentable. So there's no reason to try to get the biggest house with Section 8. Would not recommend that. Nothing whatsoever. Would not recommend that. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. So by us doing that, guess what happens? We now get to have, go back. We now get to have $1,700 of Section 8 property, of income coming in, right? So our passive money that we're getting shows the lenders that we're getting passive money, not active money. So if we're working or not working, it shows it. It's asset-based lending, no money out of our pocket. Section 8, one Section 8, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $1,700. Our loan's going to be $350. Insurance, $150, so we're going to pocket $1,200. But why can't we buy two? Of course we can buy two. So if we buy two, another 3-bedroom, 2-bath, getting $1,700. Same instance, loan payment $350, insurance and upkeep $150. So that's two properties giving us $1,200 a pop, $2,400 a month. That's $28,000 a year. We'll round up and say 30. So that's $30,000 a year that we're getting passively, not having to work for it. And the IRS helps us pay for it, which I'll get to in a second. But the government is paying us on a month-to-month basis. Passively. I don't know about you, but it would be great to be getting rental income, not having to work to do it. Oh, I am. Let me show you one of my ugly houses that I own. I'm getting Section 8 on. Wrong way, Mario. So this is, before we remodel it, it's one of my houses in Pittsburgh. I do Section 8. I have 3 Sections 8 in Pittsburgh. It was a trash house. Look at all that trash on the floor. All that trash. We remodeled it. It's livable now. Now, does it have granite countertops? No. New paint job. AC. Working condition. Is rentable. All that HUD cares about, right? So yeah, I don't have marble and tile floors. I definitely fixed that ceiling though. Don't have marble floors, no tile floors. You know, regular linoleum vinyl, right? But with that asset-based loan I got, that allowed me to not only, well, bought to buy it, right? But then also have the assets to remodel it and not come out of my pocket. Now that, my friends, is bigger than 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's a 5-bedroom, right? So I'm getting paid basically $3,800 with that property. But I don't want you to shoot for the fences. I want you to do what's comfortable and using the least amount of money. And buying a small property is, in my opinion, the way to go. So I'm not just speaking it as if it's theory. I'm living in real life. So with that being said, we just showed you how you can easily. So yeah, I'm this to this. Yeah, I'm in the money. Oh yeah, you're in the money. Yeah. Let's go, Evan. Right in the money, right? You bought those properties with no money out your pocket, so you already have equity. Ain't that crazy? No money out your pocket. You already got equity in the deal. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we already showed you buying a business. You don't need money. So a person says, "I need money to buy a business." That's a myth. We already showed you rental property. How you can have rental property with no money out your pocket and to make money. So when people say you need money for rentals, that's a myth. I just showed you an example. And then it comes to stocks. Well, I want to invest in the stock market. I need money to invest in the stock market. We're using this structure and the strategy. No, because we're using this money for something. And that something is to have appreciation and to have financial freedom. So putting money out of our pocket to buy stocks, that helps from a growth standpoint, but that doesn't make us financially free because we're using our own money. What if we were to use other money to buy stocks and have our money grow with other money? Well, that's what we do. This shows you a SEP IRA. A SEP IRA is basically a retirement account that is in your company's name. Meaning when you put money in this retirement account, my friends, it is a tax deduction. If our company makes $130,000 because you do these two strategies, and you say, hey, I want to put $20,000 in my SEP IRA and get a tax deduction. Now you're not taxed on 130, you're taxed on 110. So now the IRS is giving you money because you're investing. And with compounding interest, we see every single year your money grows. Now, we'll say your money's just growing at 10% a year, which is historically the average the past 10 years of the stock market. Our clients are making more than 10% a year. Past performance does not guarantee future results, but you should be making more than 10% a year. But even if you do, in 10 years, that $20,000 is now $318,000. All this with no money out of our pocket. We're receiving this from the passive income we're getting from either the rental or the cargo van. And guess what else? It's a tax deduction every single year. Because every year we put money to our SEP IRA, the IRS gives us money back. So the IRS gives us money back. The money grows and we don't pay taxes. And we're using money that we're making in other places to do that. Only in America can you do that. And so now that $20,000 of tax savings that we have gets us to the $150,000 barrier. So these 3 steps I just showed you shows you guys specifically how you could make $150,000 with no money out your pocket. Because businesses, that's a myth. Music to my ears. I know. Businesses, it's a myth if a person says you need to pool money and have money to buy a business. It is a myth. We just showed you that you don't need to. Rental property, that's a myth. We just showed you how you can literally have passive income, have that passive income show a lender, how you can buy something with no money out your pocket and be like Evan to have money in the deal already. And stocks, your SEP IRA, your 401k, it's a myth. You don't need your own money to fund that if you do these 2 things, the cargo van and the rental income, and use that passive income to then fund our retirement plan. So taking the opportunity to make an extra $150,000 a year in passive income is not hypothetical. It's not theory. You can make it reality. You can make it reality. Who here? I got to put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to make $150,000 passively. Just a very, very just kind of easy question. If we would like to make $150,000 passively, just that easy. Because we showed you how to do it. We showed you how to do it. Okay, all right, we see those ones. We see those ones. We showed you how to do it. Now the question is, will you? And we showed you examples of how to do it. But now I want to show you how the IRS is going to help you pay for it. Because there's no money out your pocket. But from a tax standpoint, we make money, we do got to pay taxes. But doing these 3 different things, with these 3 different streams of income, allows the IRS to be your biggest business partner and will help you pay for it all. What is that? Well, first off, with a cargo van, we can do a Section 179A. I'm going to put it into the chat. Section 179A. This is where you buy something, an equipment or a van or an SUV that is worth 6,000 pounds or more. The reason why is because when you buy that, it's a tax deduction of 100%. You're able to depreciate it. So if I buy that $25,000 cargo van, then I'm already having a $25,000 tax deduction in my transportation business. So I buy 2 cargo vans. Those 2 cargo vans are $25,000 apiece. That's $50,000. I make $100,000. I already have a $50,000 tax deduction. So before anything else I do, I'm not taxed on $100,000. I'm taxed on $50,000. So then when I write off paying my driver, because that's a tax deduction. When I write off my gas, because that's a tax deduction. When I write off my car insurance, because that's a tax deduction. I end up basically, at least for the first year, maybe for the second year, not paying taxes. Cargo van, year 1, no taxes. My semi-truck that I bought using the same strategy of the Section 179A. 2 years of having that semi-van, that semi-truck, no taxes. Section 179A. It's incredible. Incredible to use. Yep, when we went to the construction site for our mentorship, they had 2 cranes. And I showed, because they bought those cranes, that they was through their company, not through the contractor's company, but through their company, how those 2 cranes that probably cost $80,000 to $120,000 each was an $80,000 to $120,000 tax deduction. So if they sold that property and made, let's say, $400,000, and those 2 forms of equipment was a $100,000 tax deduction each, that's $200,000. They pay $400,000 before any other deductions. They only pay taxes on $200,000, not on the full $400,000, because of Section 179A, because the IRS is your biggest business partner. Then we have our rental property. Rental property, we do what you call a cost segregation study. What's a cost segregation study? Well, that is when you depreciate your land and your house from 27 years to 5 years. You see how it is. If I buy property, the IRS knows that something's going to happen. It's going to be a roof we got to get changed. It's going to be faulty plumbing. It's leaks. We got to change toilets. It's stuff we're going to do over 27 years that's going to cost us money. So they say, let's depreciate this now. So when they've depreciated, then you're able to write it off. But who wants to have a write-off for 27 years? If I bought a $100,000 house, I get all that tax deductible over 27 years. That's what, like $3,500 a month? Who does that? What if you can write off that 27 years in 5 years? So now that $100,000 property, we don't get a $2,500 tax deduction over 27 years. We get a $20,000 tax deduction over 5 years. So my Section 8 properties, 2 of them, right? I paid for them each $50,000 a pop, theoretically speaking. Let's say $40,000. We paid $40,000 for them. That's $80,000. $80,000, that's a huge tax deduction every single year. So that means I'm able to deduct $16,000 every single year for the first 5 years. I don't know about you, but if I buy a property and have the IRS give me a $16,000 tax deduction, I'll take that. So now we make $40,000 with those Section 8s. Actually, scratch that. We make really $28,000. My Section 8 makes that because it had more bedrooms, but bedrooms are bad. If you make $30,000, you already have a $16,000 tax deduction. You're not being taxed on $30,000. You're being taxed on $16,000. And then we take into consideration property tax, things of that nature we have to pay. You basically have that property for the first 5 years and don't pay taxes. So I'm making $30,000 of rental income, but I'm paying no taxes. If you would like to make $30,000 of rental income, but for the first 5 years pay no taxes, put a 3 in the chat. If we would like to make rental income, and for the first 5 years don't pay any taxes, put a 3 in the chat. It says, I'm talking to all these 4 properties I'm closing this week. This is fire. Yep. Of course, we can help you set that up, Edmund, for sure. For sure. And then we have a set by array owner 401k. As I mentioned earlier, with the set by array with an owner 401k, we put money into that, and that's a tax deduction. We can do up to 25% of our salary too. So if we make that $130,000 between the cargo van and the Section 8, 25% of that is what? $30,000? Now we get to put in up to $30,000 a year over 5 years, over 10 years, if we keep on making money. A lot of tax deductions, my friends. And that money grows tax deferred. So as the money is growing, we actually are not paying taxes. And if you do things smart and effectively, we set up a trust. All that money in our IRA passes down to our family tax-free. All that money in our real estate, pass it down to the money, tax-free. The cargo vans, we get to pass down the vans, and then the income to the family, tax-free. You guys, this is a way for you to make money in your sleep, not in your feet. But here's the word formula. Where people get it wrong. They get it wrong because they trade time for money. These are the poor. Now, I'm not trying to, say the half and half-nots, who's poor, who's rich, who's middle class, lower class. It's statistics, right? The working class or the working poor are people that are not business owners. They're not the middle class. Most of them have W-2 jobs. Nothing wrong with a W-2 job. We just want you to have some passive income on the side so we can supplement that W-2 job and eventually leave it. So nothing is W-2. And a W-2 job is great because you have something to fall back on, right? If you don't do the steps that we recommend you to do and you do something else from a business standpoint, it doesn't work. You still got your W-2 to fall back on. So this is not anti-W-2. This is anti-trading time for money. Got the middle class. The middle class. Time plus skills equals income. But they're still traded in time, right? So your executives, your managers, the C-level suite, they're making money, but they're still trading in time for money, even though they have assets. But the wealthy, they do things different. The wealthy, they use their income, their assets, and their passive income to pay bills. So if my passive income pays bills, then the income that I make, I can put that all into a tax-deductible account and not pay taxes. The assets grow and I don't cash in those assets, so I'm making more money because I'm not touching my assets. That's the wealthy. We don't want you to be the poor. We don't want you to be the middle class. We want you to be the wealthy. Be the wealthy. So the real question is not, how do I make money with no money? It's not the question, because you're already thinking negative. Well, how can I make money with no money? I just showed you how you can make money with no money. The real question is, how quick do I want to make $150,000 with passive income? That's the real question. Not how do I make the money? We showed you it's going to happen. You're good. The real question is, how quick do I want to make $150,000 with passive income? Y'all put into the chat, how quick y'all want to make? How quick do y'all want to make $150,000 passively with no money out your pocket? 2 weeks? 2 months? 1 year? Immediately? Y'all put into the chat, how quick do you want to make $150,000 with no money at your pocket? We got 6 months. Somebody DM me immediately. All right. Well, the one did immediately. We got something for you. Anybody else? Put into the chat, how quick do we want to make $150,000 passively when we're not working for the money? All right. Immediately in 6 months wins. Cool. Well, you have the opportunity. Again, I said it's going to be quick and easy. Very, very quick and easy. You can text the word NOW, N-O-W. That's it. N-O-W, now. To 267-551-5572. And we will send you out the link to retain us so we can immediately have you start the process to have passive income, passive profits, where you make money in your sleep, not in your feet, and start you on a road of $150,000. The same things I am doing, the same things our clients doing, the same things our students and mentees are doing, you can be doing the same. Getting you hooked up with a cargo van, having no money out your pocket to start that process today. Getting a Section 8 property, not 1, but 2. Getting that $30,000 a year because we want you to buy the ugliest house on the corner. Making that $30,000 a year, we want that to start today. And then using the tax code to start buying stocks inside your IRA. And since it's a tax deduction, we get money back, which equals $150,000 in your pocket. What questions you guys have for me? Again, I wanted to be short and to the point. Like I said, I was so excited. I talked to one of our mentees today that executed. Now, like, I'm going to do a webinar. I just kind of tell people how to do it real quick. So I want to be short and sweet, but y'all let me know in the chat what questions you guys have for me about how long it takes, about retainment, about how we can help, about the structure to do this, about what LLC. Y'all put into the chat or unmute yourselves. What questions do you have for me?
Hey, Mario.
Yes.
I got a question.
Of course.
We talk about the cargo van now.
Mm-hmm.
He said you can buy the cargo van with no money, right?
No money out your pocket. 0% down.
But ain't you gonna have a car payment on that?
You will, but the math, if you clear $4,000 a month, your cargo van payment is going to be $500 a month. A $25,000 cargo payment at a 6% interest rate, your payment is going to be $492. So basically $500. So if you make $4,000 and you pay for the cargo van at $500 a month, how much do you clear?
Okay.
No. Question. So if I make $4,000, I got a $500 cargo van payment. How much do I clear?
$35.
Right. If I got 2 cargo vans, because you can buy 2 cargo vans with 1 inquiry on your credit. So if I got 2 cargo vans, how much am I clearing a month? $3,500 times 2. What's $3,500 times 2, Kyrie? We may have lost you. It's $7,000 though. It's $7,000.
Yeah.
$7,000. So literally, you're clearing $7,000. $7,000 with you not doing anything, no money out your pocket, just like when you buy a car, no money out your pocket, and the business is paying your car payment. Make $5,000, spend $3,500. My friends, that is $70,000 with 2 cargo vans that I pocket. That is a great business model. That answer your question? Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah. I think we lost you, Kyrie. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, the call got dropped, but I got back on.
Yeah. But again, just to clarify, again, 1 cargo van, $4,000 minus the car payment at $500, that's $3,500. So like I said, you can buy 2 cargo vans with 1 inquiry on your credit, right? So instead of you buying 1 cargo van that's $50,000, you're able to buy 2 at $50,000. So now if you buy 2 and you are pocketing after the payment $3,500 a month with 2 cargo van payments, how much are you making a month?
$7,000.
There you go. That's $84,000 a year, and you're not doing any work. That is a great business model, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great business model. We use that to show then the Section 8 lenders that we want to buy a property from a lending standpoint. We show that $80,000 or $84,000 of income passively. Lenders love passive income because people get fired, stuff happens. Can't take away your pension, can't take your Social Security away. The cargo van is passive. There's always going to be freight, always going to be things that get passed from one place to another. They love that. They'd rather you have passive income, like dollar for dollar. Like if you got a $50,000 job or you got $50,000 of passive income, they'd rather that passive income any day of the week because they know that you can pay the loan because the money's not going anywhere. So now we show that to an asset-based lender, and then we buy 2 Section 8 properties. We're getting $30,000 a piece. Now that $70,000 passively turns into $100,000 passively. I have not worked at all to do so. So when I say make it easy, $150,000 with no money out your pocket, it's not fallacy, it's not hypotheticals, it's not what ifs, it's not big numbers. It's real life. It's real life. What other questions do we have? And again, to have us help you start the process, comment the word NOW, N-O-W, to retain us. To retain us is only $500. And once you retain us, then you'll get booked with our team to see if you want us to help you for the next 3 months to get this set up. You want us to help you for the next 6 months to get this set up, or you slow walk the process and do it for a year. However you want us to help you, we will. Either 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but it starts, of course, with the $50 retainment, and you comment the word NOW, and you'll get that link to have your journey to get passive income and $150,000 passively to start today. What other questions do we have for me? I told myself this is the hour power, so I got 3 more minutes.
All right, Mara, one more question. Oh, no, go ahead. Somebody else had a question?
Mario,
Yes.
you still got all your same information, right?
Yeah. Nothing changed. Nothing changed.
We on Monday. I should close this week, and we on Monday.
Oh, let's go. How does it feel?
Man, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, happiness. I imagine. I mean, you gonna come out
Oh,
the deal.
you know that for sure. It's real. I work hard for this for sure.
Now you can come out the deal with
Long
equity.
years. Yeah.
Man, and so because you've been going through this process for the property for about 6-7 months now.
Man, I'm on my 5th month, so I had ran into not a bad broker, just I ran into a broker at first, and he was taking too long, so then I just, reached out to a group that I was in, and I found the asset-based lender,
Let's go.
and he funding 4 projects for me right now. I should close on them this week. And then I just got pre-approved for a 6-property portfolio,
Oh, you ain't playing.
like 625. I'm a refi on it though in the front, but I'm on you though. That's why we on. So because I want you to help me the whole way. So I'm on you. I got you.
Yeah, you still got my link and everything, right?
Yeah, I got your link. I got your number still though.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's awesome, man. So you didn't, and see that shows like tenacity. I mean, like you can't put a price on that, because like you could have easily checked out with that first lender. You'd be like, man, you know what, man, forget this, man. I ain't
He
doing
still
that.
ain't sent my appraisal money. I'm still waiting on that.
Wow.
I sent him appraisal 2 weeks ago, Mario. He still ain't sent my money.
Wow. See, man, so that goes to show, like, you got good actors, you got bad actors,
Yeah.
but like, man,
I done learned a lot, man. Like the last 90 days I think I done took in more than I done took in the last 3.5 years, like the last 90 days.
Wow.
Like I've been at the finish line 2 weeks. Waiting to close. A check wouldn't clear, my bank wouldn't. So this what they did. They wouldn't accept the wire because it's a first time wire. And it's the first time they probably seen that lender or that bank. And so they wouldn't accept the wire. They turned around and gave me a cashier's check to the same instructions.
That's crazy.
So when my lender's bank got the cashier's check, they still held it. And they kept calling the lender's bank, like trying to verify it, which that was the holdup. So
that's crazy.
I should close this week though, like probably Friday or something.
Nah, congrats, man. Congrats. Yeah, you went from You went from somebody saying no to you getting 4 with no money out your pocket to now another 6. Boy, you know you're gonna be a millionaire by the end of this year, right? I mean,
That,
I ain't checking your pockets, but like with
yeah,
this
that's what
deal,
I said. That's what I'm trying to do. You know,
yeah,
I am.
yeah, yeah. Nah, congrats, man. That's dope. Congrats, Edmund. So Nikki on YouTube had a question. So with a job where I make $60,000 a year after taxes, 57,000 a year with a credit score of 578. Okay, that's okay, Nikki. I can get a cargo van, no money down, and the business of the cargo van does what? Yes. So Nikki, you're 100% right. Nikki, you can put your own. Yeah, you can definitely comment. Comment now to our number. Nikki, you can definitely comment now to our number. So again, 267-551-5572. The retainers, we can definitely walk you through the process. But how do you do it? So it's very easy. You have the income. Think about if you went to the car dealership right now, Nikki, with $57,000 income. You're going to get approved for a car. And a cargo van is a vehicle. So you're going to be approved, right? So we don't care about the interest rate. It might be a higher interest rate. We don't care about that. The reason why is because you can always refinance when you have passive income lenders like that better. And then since you're making extra money, right, the extra money that you make can just pay down that loan quicker. So don't worry about, it's going to be a higher interest. We don't care about that. We care about the cash flow. So yeah, you have a 578 credit score, that's fine. We had a person about 7 months ago with a 480 credit score still get not 1 but 2. Now they had a higher interest rate, but that's fine. Or if you want to do it that's the quick way. Or if you want to do it the slow way, then of course we're gonna help with credit repair. We have a credit repair specialist on the team that'll help with credit repair. We'll move those inquiries, so we'll turn that 578 closer to a 650 to maybe in the 700 over a few months. But it takes a few months. So the question is, do we want to slow walk through the process and wait 2 months to have a better credit score? And if you do just 2 months, that's going to be about $8,000 if you do 1 cargo van, $16,000 if it's 2 cargo vans that you lose. So the question is, do we lose $16,000 by slow walking the process and get better credit at a lower interest rate? Or do we say, let's keep this $16,000, let's get something at a higher interest rate and pay it down quicker and then refinance quicker? I would say, let's go right now, get that cargo van, get that second cargo van. Yeah, you have a higher interest payment. Since we have that passive income, then let's refinance, because now it's going to show you're making $57,000 a year plus annualized at $8,000 a month, $100,000 a year. So now annualized, you're making $157,000 over the next year. You don't think that car dealership or your bank or your credit union is going to want to refinance that loan at a lower interest rate immediately? They will. So I would not say wait, Nikki. Nile King, I'm sorry, I said Nikki, Nile King. I would not say Nile King 77799. I would not wait. I would not procrastinate. I would say let's get this going now, because the quicker that we get into those cargo vans, the quicker we can pay that down, improve your credit, and have some passive income. But like I said, yeah, you can definitely hit us up. So text now, NOW now at 267-551-5572. We'll get you started. Any other questions for us in the chat? Any other questions on YouTube?
Mary, I just want to spin off of what you just told that person on the call.
Of course.
When we going to the dealership, is these cargo vans in our name or our company names?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For a person who has a business already, it's better to do it in your business name, but it doesn't matter. And actually, a lot of times, it's better to buy it in your name, because if your name, you're having some type of income. If you got a new business, right, then you don't get any business income, then it's going to be hard unless you use Bank of America. Bank of America does have a program where you can buy vehicles for your business with no income in your business. So you can do it with Bank of America, but when you deal with banks, it takes longer, right? They're going to go through the process longer. It's going to be longer. It might be a month for you to get the money compared to if you go directly to the dealership. They'll finance you right then and there. But yeah, for a person with no business though, definitely do personally. Like I said, a lot of times personal is better. Now again, you can always refinance if you want to. refinance it in your business, you can. After a few months, you can do that. But from a tax deduction standpoint, it doesn't matter. If you have, from a cargo van standpoint specifically, yeah, cool. Yep, that's all. Cool. Yep, Evan, that's cool. Yep. Look forward to it. Look, and congratulations. Yeah. So, Kyrie, from a cargo van standpoint, if it's in your personal name, from a tax deduction standpoint, we just have you fill out the vehicle form that says that you're using that automobile for more than 51% for business purposes. So you still get all the tax deductions as if it was in your business name. So the cargo van doesn't matter per se if it's in your name or your business name.
Okay.
But again, once you retain us, we help you through all that process though. So whenever you're ready, you can text the number, you have our information. I think you still have the link to retain us. You retain us, we get you all set up and squared away. So there's no questions of what to do, how to do it. We help you do it for you and we'll get you through the process. We help with the, not saying that you need it, but we're just like Nile King, right? The credit repair, if you want to, have better credit to get favorable terms, we help you with the credit repair. If you want some funding as well, we can help you with all that stuff. So much stuff we can do once you retain us to kind of have you go through the process. But yeah, our goal is to have you make $150,000 passively in the next year. I have a lot of people doing it already. It's not theory, it's actual reality. We help you set up all it. And again, like I said, from a tax standpoint, IRS helps you fund it all. Awesome. What other questions do we have for me? All right, cool, y'all. Well, like I said, I wanted this to kind of be quick and easy, a quick live. I was so excited about what we did over the weekend. I said, you know what? Let me hop on YouTube Live. Let me do this webinar. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow, too. I might do it tomorrow. I think tomorrow I might talk about AI, though. But I don't know. But I told myself twice a week I'm going live for an hour. So I just want to give as much value as possible, help people. The more you help people, the more you get helped in the long run. So cool. Before we get off, though, I always like to say a prayer because the Lord woke us up this morning. So we can all close our eyes and bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for your love. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for being in our lives. Thank you for allowing us to walk and talk and be healthy. May you continue to bless us. May you bless everybody on this call. May you bless their business. May you bless their friends, their family, and their health. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you for all your love and your blessings. Amen. Also, sauce, y'all be blessed. Check your alerts. Again, text the number 267-551-5572 so we can help you scale. You guys be blessed. Peace.